So we just got a bunch of footage from the recent Delta Force Hawk Ops playtest. If you don't know what this is, it's an upcoming FPS from Teamy Group, the guys behind COD Mobile, bringing a new FPS experience to PC and mobile devices. And this game is based on the old Delta Force IP. So we know we have 3 modes coming to the game. The first, which I think my audience will be more happy with, is the single player portion, which is a remaster of Black Hawk Down, bringing in that tactical, gritty FPS set in the 90s. They're touting iconic scenes, so street battles, night ops, crash sites, a classic storyline where you can immerse yourself in the first-person retelling of Delta operations, delivering a cinematic thrill with mysterious and iconic characters making their comeback. And then we have the multiplayer, which is near future Battlefield 2042-esque with 2 major game modes called Hazard Ops and Hazard Warfare. Operations are the extraction shooter element where you and 2 other friends can drop in, complete missions, and extract with loot. And then you have Hazard Warfare, which is seemingly more in line with your typical Battlefield conquest experience, large-scale vehicle and infantry warfare across insane maps with classic class-based gameplay like Assault, Medic, Sniper, and Engineer. Now, when I covered this game a few months back, I was cautiously optimistic about this title. But now that we have some more gameplay, I actually have a clearer picture as to what they're bringing to the table. All of this footage was taken from a live capture event in China recently, so all of the UI and the HUD elements are written in Chinese or Korean, but there's a lot of things that we have learned from the gameplay that they've put out both on other people's YouTube channels and their official YouTube channel themselves. I'm going to go through it all here, so if you end up liking the video, leave a like on it, subscribe for more content. Let's get into it. Now, I want to go through this entire footage, and I'm going to be scrubbing, pausing, and talking about everything that we're seeing here, so I hope you guys don't mind. First shot here is, it looks like a team of 3 kind of sneaking in, and I gotta say, just looking at this shot here, environments look great, weapon models look dope, the lighting here is actually very impressive. And you guys can see some of the character animations there. That character's kind of walking up to this door here. You can see the surrounding area looks a little barren. We do have some buildings kind of over here behind my camera, just over here. Weapon model looks good. World looks good. I think the foliage looks actually really nice. But let's get into it. We have some like futuristic looking buildings here. We got a plane crash. Then we get into some gameplay here. And so this shot here, so it looks like 2 characters get taken out at once. This plane has been ripped in half. This shot here, this looks like what we're actually going to be extracting out of these zones with. Then we get some reload animations, and I gotta say, like, their animation work looks really good. Dude, I'm getting so stuffed up. I can tell I'm getting sick. This sucks. Okay, this looks good. So again, this was a Chinese playtest. I don't know what any of this shit says, but looks like they're moving towards these extractors. They get jumped from another team. I gotta say, the gunplay here looks a little bit wonky. I know they're not aiming down sights, but just watching how some of these weapons interact, it looks a little weird. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at here. It looks like it has this weird, like, horizontal jump to it. I know most weapons have some horizontal recoil, but this looks a little bit over the top. I'd have to feel it, but yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing there. So right there, we saw it looked like a juggernaut, like a larger armored enemy that they have to consistently shoot at. It looks like you have some sort of like, I'm going to say, is there lean, or is it like Call of Duty where they take like the cover lean? I'm not sure. A heel gun there. This looks straight out of 2042, honestly. Stay calm and extract rewards. Okay. That gunplay looked better. The gunplay looks very Call of Duty-esque for sure. It has a little bit of a 2042 vibe to it as well. Oh, here's a look at the inventory. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. Backpack, gear. This reminds me a lot of Rings of Elysium, actually. And then it looks like you have to actually search. It's got some Tarkov vibes there with the inventory management. I like that. I'm not gonna lie, I don't not like what I'm seeing.
好，我们这里看到了现在曼德尔专的副歌。
So you grab this stuff. So you guys can't see. Let me kill this again. It looks like there's a timer here, 31 minutes. So these sessions are very long, which is good. I will say there are some performance issues here. I'm not sure if it's just their recording equipment or what. I don't know. Got obviously a nice little OKP site. That looks good. I'm gonna lean towards. You guys might be able to see this too. Just where I paused, I think it's their recording setup because you can see some screen tearing in the actual video itself. So I think this was taken from like a live play test. So frame rate issues, I hope they can get solved, or if it is even a problem, I'm not sure. Complete critical missions, okay. The HUD looks clean, I will say. The UI looks really nice. It's very minimal. Like just pausing in here, I know we have this little thing on screen, but all the stuff for your gear. Oh yeah, so you can see the recording here. Yeah, okay. So you have your abilities, you have your weapons, and your team just kind of shoved down here. I like the HUD. I actually do. This looks pretty good. Okay, so you can activate these. I don't know if they have any relevance. Okay, and then that popped up an objective there. Okay, so multi-stage objectives. Reminds me a lot of DMZ, actually. Spectator cam. You obviously got reviving. It's got some mobile vibes, which I know is going to turn a lot of people off. Oh yeah, so here's the live playthrough here. Wow, it's got some mobile vibes to it, and I think that's going to turn a lot of people off. Just watching this here, like, animations look good, environments look great. The no HUD gameplay looks a little off because we're not seeing things like hit markers, so it's tough to gauge damage, but this is looking cool. I'm curious to see how the other mode is going to play, like the more Battlefield, like Conquest style mode is going to be. But this is looking like a blend of PvE and PvP. So we do have some gameplay from a channel who uploaded, they must have been at the playtest or this was leaked to them. I have no idea. But it says maximum graphics PC first beta. And when we get into the actual gameplay itself, we'll be able to actually see the stats at the top right of the screen. We can see that they're using an RTX 3060, and we can actually see the frame rates kind of going through this game, so we can get a gauge on where performance actually is. But let's jump into it here, because this is the highest quality footage that I've been able to find for this game. So even though everything is set in Chinese, you can see here the graphics have been set to maximum. You can pause and translate to know the details. We ain't doing that. I'm going to trust them. Graphics are set to maximum, and now we can actually see what this game looks like. So we're in the game now. You guys can see RTX 3060 at the top. We're getting about 70 FPS, 75, 76, you know, it kind of averages. But it looks like they're playing with two other players. The movement does look slower than Call of Duty. It's still got Call of Duty vibes to it, and obviously, I mean, maybe these players just don't know the actual movement. I don't know if there's things like slide canceling or anything, but it looks slower than COD, which I think my community will be more of a fan of. I know a lot of you guys don't like that crackhead style movement that like Modern Warfare 3 brought in. It's got a very fluid player controller, though. I'm actually very impressed with their animations. That looks like some sort of mech. There's no health bar on it. Oh, and they had guys off to the right there as well. 75, looks like they got 16 gigs of RAM. 4250 megahertz. Interesting, okay. So we got a little bit of a spectator cam. And you can go revive. He pops a smoke. I don't know if that was an ability or an actual just smoke grenade thrown at the ground. The spectator cam's a little wonky for me. I also hope you can spectate in first person. I find that when you're playing an FPS and you go to a third person spectator and then back to first, it's just a little weird. I want to see what the actual teammates are able to aim at. Okay, so we got grenade arc. That looked good. The UI in the HUD actually looks really good. We do have independent lean. Confirmed. That is nice. That's something that I wish Call of Duty would do. But I will say his audio, the recording of the audio is not good. Video-wise, it looks great, but that audio, it's got like an echo to it, and I don't know if that's in-game. The other gameplay I've seen doesn't have that, so I'm leaning towards this recording being a little bit buggered. The foliage and the vegetation on this map look fucking phenomenal, though. This looks really good. Honestly, like, visually, I'm actually really impressed. Takes a while to get into a bag, and then you actually have to search for shit as well. Makes it a little bit risky to find stuff. Right click, there's a drop down menu to move stuff around. Okay. This is a pretty straightforward inventory system. I don't mind it. It's not that I don't like it. It looks good. Nothing revolutionary here, though. Helmet, same armor. Got a little Uzi. Okay, not really much there. So those might have been scavs or AI, maybe. I don't know. Because that looks like it could be a player name, too. He takes his helmet. It has more armor on it. Yeah, this is very Tarkov-like. But a very, I would say, streamlined and arcadey Tarkov-esque game, which I'm kind of all here for. The depth of field on the ADS looks really good too. They did a really good job. I see some foliage kind of clipping through stuff. That's nitpicky shit. They did a really good job with the player controller. The animation on that. Is that a drone? Oh, that's a drone. Oh, okay. So it looks like a radar drone, kind of a pulse, maybe. Or is it healing? I'm not sure what that's actually doing. I think it might just be a radar pulse. I don't know, though.
Location is ahead.
Oh, players there. That guy's down. I don't know if that's a player or an AI. It looks like there's a picture of a dog tag. That might be an actual player indication. I don't know. I don't know what that guy was doing. He just, like, he was playing like a bot.
Location is ahead.
This is looking really good. Like, again, I gotta see I want to see an actual firefight and not some bullshit, though. But environmentally and visually, I'm very impressed. Grenade arc's cool. Shows the explosion radius. That's clean. You got a hit marker there. Okay. Okay, so that's the same image as before, so that might just be a bot. Again, I don't know. If those were players, those were fucking ass players, like terrible. Okay. I gotta rewind this, because one thing I just saw there, he grabbed the backpack, and it didn't transfer things over. Hold on, let me watch this. It just swapped the backpacks, which I think is actually fucking awesome. There's one thing I can't stand in Tarkov is there's no quality of life for like moving backpacks and vests around. If you can, like, so again, I don't know what's in this vest here, if it's this row here, but if you can just swap vests on the fly and it just keeps what you had in your inventory in here, and then you can grab the stuff after, that's huge to me. It's not realistic by any stretch, but it doesn't need to be for gameplay purposes. It's just an easy way to swap out armor. If your armor is damaged, you grab another one, move it over quick. Fucking backpacks, like, move it over quick. Keep what you have and then just increase the slots or decrease based on whatever size it is. I like that. Like that. Oh, so that has a plus 15 slot, and as he drug over another backpack, it adds It's a plus 20 backpack, and then it just adds more slot. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That quality of life stuff there is why I loved playing Rings of Elysium over PUBG in the early days, because they had a lot of quality of life stuff like that for inventory management, and it was fucking awesome. PUBG then adapted to that later. Oh, this guy's aim is trash. But again, maybe this weapon's just hard to hold. I don't know. I gotta feel it though. This area looks straight out of 2042. That independent lean is so nice, dude. I love that. And honestly, it's not that hard to implement. It really isn't. I wish more games would do it. Okay, so they're close to a boss. That's what I know. That's what it said here is there's a boss here. And it looks like there's loot behind it. So I think that's what they're trying to go for. So this must be like a scav boss, like in Tarkov. But they're probably really hard, probably really armored. Yeah, the audio recording here is terrible, but you can kind of pull out semblances of how this shit's gonna sound. You can hear the clicks and the clanks on the player for like movement and moving the gun back and forth, like the weapon whips. I like what I'm hearing. Even the click on that grenade there. If you get over like the ocean that it sounds like it's being recorded in, you can kind of pull out pieces of how good it sounds. That little drone animation's cool too. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like the environments, they put some effort in. You know, it might not be the most unique and original thing ever, but goddamn, did they put some effort in? There is a polish to this game that I'm seeing so far that looks better than a lot of other like extraction shooter projects we've seen. Clearly, these guys have the budget to do it. They have the team to do it. And this is kind of what I was going into. It's like, for everybody who has asked for like a Call of Duty or a Warzone alternative, could this be it? I don't know. If you guys are watching and you made it this far, let me know down below what you think. This isn't the most riveting gameplay ever. As somebody who's taking a look at the player controller, the animations, the movement speed, the environment design, the looting, the inventory, the HUD, all of that stuff, it sounds and it looks like it could be a pretty cool project to play. But we gotta see some real fucking gameplay. We gotta get some people on the West jumping into this and actually seeing what you can do. Because I feel like even though it's a slower paced game than Call of Duty Warzone will be, I think there's going to be some pretty high octane plays in this game. It feels like it could facilitate both play styles. Yeah, even though this is high quality like visual gameplay, this is some of the most boring ass gameplay that we've seen. And maybe that's it. Maybe the game is just like super polished, but it's boring as fuck. Who knows? Smoke pop? That smoke looked decent. Someone's close by. That time to kill spongy, but didn't look bad. Oh. Yeah. Bro, these firefights ain't it. It's like we're watching a bunch of toddlers play this game. Is that it? Oh, wow, that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I like what I see from like a game design standpoint, but for gameplay, dude, this was fucking terrible. There was not a lot there. Anyways, guys, I want to know what you guys think, taking everything into account from what we just saw here. There's a lot more gameplay from other sources. The quality of those recordings were a lot less than this one, so I chose this one. Unfortunately, that was just boring as fuck to watch. But I want to know what you guys think down below. Are you excited for Delta Force? Are you more excited for the single-player portion? Let's talk about it. It's a new FPS that isn't Call of Duty, but I think is playing in the same kind of AAA space that these other studios have been failing at for years. Let me know your thoughts down below. My name is BigFry. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.